I, female 23, have been dating my boyfriend Jake, 23, since our freshman year of college. In our last year of undergrad, we decided to rent an apartment together. We split everything 50-50, including utilities, groceries, and rent. We continued living together in the same town as our college after graduation, but recently, we both got jobs in Chicago and we're currently living downtown. My dad works in real estate and has multiple investment properties. My dad generously allowed me to live in one of his properties rent-free, but he said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $400 a month for rent. My dad is very protective, but he has been nothing but kind to my boyfriend. My dad's reasoning for making my boyfriend pay rent is that he wants to make sure that my boyfriend is with me for me, and not because he will have a free place to live. Keep in mind, if my dad was renting this apartment to tenants, he would charge $2,100 a month for rent. Very ritzy building in the middle of downtown Chicago. My boyfriend is mad at me because he asked me for my half of the $400 rent, and I explained to him that I will not be paying the rent. My dad is only charging him. He says that we have been splitting the rent for the past 2 years, so why would we stop now? Our rent in our college town was $1,200, so we were both paying $600 a month. Our apartment in Chicago is significantly nicer and he's paying $200 less a month than when he was in college. Is the idea that my dad doesn't charge me for rent but charges my boyfriend so crazy? Am I the asshole for refusing to split rent with my boyfriend?
Am I wrong for being upset at my husband for what he got me for my birthday? You cannot be, okay, birthday gifts are a privilege. You are not allowed to be picky about what anyone gets you because you don't deserve shit. But that being said, my 39th birthday was last week. And you're 39? Oh my God, like calm down. Like all the gifts you could ever want, you've already gotten. Like what's the problem? Months ago, I was talking with my mom about a part of our state that I love to visit, and she mentioned that she has never been there. I told her we should go together sometime, and we started planning it. We ended up deciding on going there for my birthday. During the planning, we realized that my mom, my brother, and I have never been on a trip together, just the three of us. So we invited my brother too. My husband was fully supportive of us taking this trip, and we'll be staying home with our 3-year-old son and our dog. Before we left last week, my husband gave me the gifts he bought me for my birthday. He got me some comfy pajamas, a sun hat, and some good wine and cheese to bring with me on the trip. Normally, I would be totally okay with that gift as we don't really splurge on birthday gifts anymore. But he had been talking about getting me a smartwatch and a new luggage for my trip ever since we started planning it. He knows I can be kind of picky about gifts as I have exchanged some of the gifts he's got me in the past for different colors or options. But this time I told him to just pick something out for me as I want those things for the trip. He offered instead to go shopping with me so that I could pick out exactly what I want, because if I take them on the trip and don't like them, it's not likely I could return or exchange them. I thought that was a good idea, but life got busy, and before I knew it, it was a week before our trip and we hadn't had a chance to actually go shopping together. So the time comes for us to leave, and part of me was expecting my husband to surprise me with a new watch or weekend bag, but he didn't. I admit that I was pretty disappointed that he didn't take the initiative to just get me the things on his own. I tried not to let it bother me during the trip, but it was always kind of in the back of my mind. After we got back, I mentioned to him that I was disappointed that he didn't get me the watch and bag like he said he would. He told me that he thought we had agreed to do it together, but I told him he knew how busy we were and it wouldn't have been much effort for him to just do it on his own. He got offended and told me that I just spent thousands of dollars on a nice, relaxing trip with my family while he stayed home and took care of everything, and I'm complaining about a watch and a bag. He's right. Like, how spoiled do you sound? You just went there for your birthday and you're complaining about a watch and a bag. Go buy that shit yourself. Like, what's wrong with you? I told him that he knew how much I was looking forward to having those items for my trip, and I'm just disappointed that he didn't realize that and take the opportunity to do something special for me. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. He apologized for ruining my trip, but I know it wasn't sincere, and he's just telling me what he thinks I want to hear. Oh my God, you're so annoying. I offered to go shopping with him sometime to pick them out, and he told me to just go do it myself. Now I feel like crap, and I know he's mad at me for being ungrateful for the things he did get me and for allowing me to have the opportunity to have a trip like that with my family. Oh my God, there's a comment on here that they're making someone. Oh, and then she has a comment on here because someone was calling. Okay, there's a comment on here calling her a privileged brat, and she responds back, I make more money than he does. Then go buy your own damn watch and bag.
My boyfriend's body odor is so bad that I'm considering breaking up with him. Am I the asshole? His pee-pee smells really bad. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 6 months now. The thing is, he's actually really good looking and he's hot. He's actually got an amazing body. He's an athlete. A few months into us dating, I started noticing that he was smelling a little funky. Especially when I tried to go down there, if you know what I mean. So I just never offered. Then I started noticing that he smelled really bad after every single practice. I'm the type of person that will always tell somebody if they have something in their teeth, or if there's something on your face, I'm gonna let you know. So one day I told him that he kind of stank and that he needed to take a shower. That's when he told me that his coach and his entire team are very superstitious and that they can only shower twice a week. Otherwise, they risk losing the entire season. This means I have to put up with him stinking all the time. Every time I go to kiss him, something stinks. So I basically stopped touching him. And this is making him really angry. I mean, am I a bad girlfriend? Go to part 2. My boyfriend's pee-pee smells bad, he has terrible body odor. Am I the asshole for wanting to break up with him? At this point, I couldn't even bring myself to kiss him, let alone hug him or even do anything else to his body. That meant zero sexy time. So I decided to tell him the truth that I couldn't stand his body odor. I even told him that his pee-pee smelled really, really bad, and that for that reason, I wasn't touching him or even kissing him anymore. Then he told me that I was being an inconsiderate girlfriend because the other girls of the other players on his team didn't care if their boyfriends were stinky. Then this man actually asked me to do the dirty with him. And as soon as we started kissing and trying to go at it, I started gagging at the stink of him. Then he told me that I didn't take his career seriously and he kicked me out of his apartment. Then I actually did feel like I was being the terrible girlfriend. At the same time, how could I be with him when he literally stinks so bad? 2 hours later, he showed up to my apartment, showered, and I couldn't resist myself, and we went at it. 2 days later, he stinks again. He's refusing to take a shower, and I don't know what to do now. 2 nights ago, he wanted to do the dirty, and he started kissing me, but I gagged again. Basically, I had to force myself to do it. He won't stop touching me. What should I do?
Am I the asshole for serving my boyfriend's parents pizza for dinner? So I, female 28, have been dating my boyfriend 31 for 7 months. His family are of Italian origins, and they take a lot of pride in it. They invited me to their house several times, and last night his parents came over to the apartment for the first time. They were visiting a friend and said they decided to stop by for dinner. I freaked out when they said dinner because it was late, I was working and had no time to cook. So I went and ordered a pizza, but the second the parents saw the pizza, they got pissed. His dad gave me a nasty stare, then said I was intentionally serving them pizza because they were Italian. In other words, I was mocking them and assuming that all they would eat is Italian. Am I the asshole for serving my boyfriend's parents pizza for dinner? He said that assuming that they'd only eat Italian food was racist. I was so confused and said I didn't think it was interpreted that way. He said if you had Asian guests over, would you serve them just sushi? How would you like it if we only served you McDonald's and fries? I was stunned by his words. Basically, he was saying that just because they're Italians, I shouldn't assume they like pizza. But who doesn't like pizza? They got up and said they wanted to leave, and my boyfriend tried to get them to stay. He blew up at me for ordering pizza and said I insulted them indirectly. He told me to call and apologize, but I said no.
I hate my special needs sister and I'm done hiding it. When my younger sister was born, she almost died from hypoxia. She suffered severe brain damage to the point where doctors doubted she would survive. She has survived and she's 16 years old now. However, she is about as close to brain dead as a living person can get. She can't move, she can't communicate, she can't eat or drink on her own. She has no control over her bowels, so she has to wear diapers. She will never get better and she will never live a normal life. Despite that, my mother has ruined our family, hoping she will have a miracle and recover. My mother has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my sister, everything from wheelchairs to doctor visits. We had to live in a one-bedroom apartment for 11 years because my mother spent all of the money she made on my sister. And nothing she bought made any difference. She will always be a drooling mess. Since my mother believes she will get better, she made me treat her like she was a real sister. I lost all of my friends growing up because my mom made me take her everywhere I went. If I told my mom I was going to the park, she would say, "Oh, a park? That sounds like something Jess would like. Take her with you." Not once did she stop to think about how absurd she sounded talking to her. One time, my mom took her to a movie theater. They made it barely 30 minutes through the movie before staff kicked her out because my sister was making so much noise, coughing and choking on her saliva. Despite all this, I somewhat tolerated my sister until a few hours ago. I mentioned to my mother that I had planned a date with a girl I met at work. My mom said, "That sounds like fun, but I'm having coffee with a friend from college, so can you take care of Jess while I'm gone?" I told her that I couldn't because of my date and suggested that she hire a babysitter. My mother then said that I should just take her with me. And then I just exploded. I told her how stupid she was for suggesting such a thing. Bring my severely disabled, crippled sister along with me on a date with a girl because you are too lazy to hire a sitter? How crazy are you to think that's a good idea? Every moment of my life has been about Jess. I'm not supposed to have a career or a family of my own because I need to take care of Jess when my mom dies. My mom even discouraged me from going to college because then I wouldn't be able to take care of her. I told her how much damage she has done to the family because of my sister. We struggled financially my entire life, not because my mom is low income, but because she spent all of our money on Jess. We drove a crappy 1996 Subaru Outback for years, and my mom couldn't afford to buy a new car. But she had no problem shelling out thousands to see a specialist doctor who will say the same thing every doctor has. My sister is a glitch. She's not supposed to be here. She will never live a normal life. There's no reason she shouldn't be put in a home. I'm just so frustrated right now. I'm thinking about cutting ties with her and reconnecting with my father. My dad divorced her once he realized that the rest of his life was going to be taking care of Jess. I can't fault him. My mom forbid me from contacting him, but he's not the bad guy here.